Hello, everybody. This is Joe or Jonna. Thanks for coming back again. If this is your fourth time coming to my YouTube videos or my videos in general, so I'm posting them to TikTok and Instagram as well, which is something I never thought I would be doing. But hey, when there's a demand, I have to answer it. And it sounds like a lot of people are learning a lot of things and they're finding these helpful. So as long as that is true, I will keep doing them. So the first session I did was on daily trend rooms. The second one was on bubble words. Last one was on style tags. And all three of those topics lead directly into titles and descriptions. And a lot of times people are putting two-word titles into their, into their listing. And there was a rumor years ago that Poshmark wanted dumbed down or two-word titles, and that was never, ever, ever, ever the case. I was on Zooms with them at the time, and they're like, no, we've changed a little bit in our algorithm, and that just happened that it was going out and finding those old listings with two-word titles. We did not know there were so many people on Poshmark that did not know how to write a title. We just expanded the character count to 80 characters, and they want you to use the entire 80 characters. At a PoshFest virtual a few years ago, they had somebody there that was also from Google, and they talked about the importance of an 80-word title and starting it out with a brand. You know, depending on what device you are on, you don't always see the brand box. If I'm sharing a listing from my closet or from a closet on my Android phone, I don't see the brand box. So that's another reason why it's very important to start out your title with a brand. Personally, I like capitalizing the brand name. I think it helps make the item stand out a little bit better, lets the name stand out a little bit better. I don't like the titles that are 100% capitalized. I think just focusing on the brand and starting my title out with handcrafted or J. Crew or whatever. If it is a brand that has punctuation in the title, and that's how Poshmark has it set up in their system, then it's fine to add the punctuation in the title into that brand name. But having words separated by commas or a lot of punctuation can confuse the search engines thinking that is code. So it's best to not have punctuation in your title. I have read many articles that say if you want to use a hyphen, that's the best punctuation to use. But I try to limit my punctuation. I never, ever, ever put emojis in my title because that automatically prevents Poshmark from sending that to Google for featured ads. So if you're wanting to do a short-term sale in your closet and have items that maybe have a smiley face or something like that for sale to help delineate the listings in your closet, that's fine. But if you're doing it for a long-term thing, emojis hurt your listings. You will not get the exposure that you think you're getting. And that's what it's all about, is getting exposure. So I try to make the first 5 words of my title the most important words I think people will be putting in the search box to find my listing. So I'm going to say something like J. Crew dress. If it happened to be called the Natalie dress, I might say J. Crew dress Natalie or J. Crew Natalie dress. But I'm putting those words up there because a lot of people are going to be hunting for dress, and a lot of people that know the style are going to be hunting for Natalie. Then I'm going to say a couple of words to describe it. Maybe it's sleeveless, it's floral, it's casual, it's V-neck. You know, pick a couple of words that you think stand out and that people are going to be hunting for the reasons why they're going to be looking for that dress. Bridal, wedding, prom, homecoming, whatever the special event might be, or it's animal print. I always choose one color to put in the title, and then I end my title with the size. Ever since I started adding plus size, either in my title or my description, the words plus size, I've been selling a lot more plus size items out of my closet. So depending on what the item is, I'm just kind of I'm kind of, what am I doing? I'm customizing the title for the situation. If I think that those words about what it is or what colors it is or the style it is way more important than the size, I'll leave the size out. When I'm going down, you've got 80 characters for your title, so you can play around with it. You know, when I say put the most important 5 words first, it's up to you and your personal style, once again, on whether you want to start your title out with NWT or new or something like that. But honestly, in all the years that I've bought on Poshmark, I've never once put NWT in the search box to find a listing. So, you know, that I understand you want it to stand out, but it's more important that if it's new with tags or new without tags, that you've got the new with tags toggle slid over on the condition of the listing. Because if you say your title and you say NWT or new and you do not have that slid over, when that listing goes to Google for ads, it's going to show up as automatically used because you do not have that NWT button slid over. So you always, if it's handmade and it's something new and never been marketed before, you can use the NWT. You can also use boutique because you've made it, you've manufactured it, you've produced it, you've marketed it. You are everything for that item and it's never been for sale on the market before. So you can do NWT and boutique. When I'm going down then into my description, I'm just elaborating on my title. You know, maybe I said dress in the title. Now I'm going to say slip over or pull over or mini or maxi, you know, going into a little bit more words that people are going to use. If I said it was blue floral in the title, down in the description, I'm going to say it's navy blue with red, orange, and yellow flowers with green leaves. If it's a top, I'm going to say in my description, it's a shirt, it's a blouse. Maybe it's sleeveless, so it classifies as a tank top. Or it's a bikini or a halter. I'm thinking of the synonyms. And that's where paying attention to the words they're using in the daily trend rooms and the bubble word research is going to help you think about other words you can have in your description. Because I've always got my bubble word journal. If you guys are buying school supplies for your kids right now, steal a notebook and start a bubble word journal. This thing is a godsend because it's so easy to forget the obvious. So I've got my dress page. I had done the bubble word research and I wrote down all of the words that showed up in bubbles underneath dress. And I clicked on a couple that were types of dresses I was listing. And I wrote down those new words. A lot of times it's the collars, it's the sleeve length, it's the neckline, it's the length of the dress. It goes into all kinds of details about the style, the comfort of it. You know, is there stretch? I'm just elaborating because you've got 1,500 characters for your description. So that's a good place for you to talk about the item, but also how a person could use the item. Wear it to work at the office. Maybe it's great for to wear as a wedding guest or as a bridesmaid or to prom or homecoming or a semi-formal event. Maybe it's something that would be great for vacation. You know, maybe that dress or that shirt could also be worn as a swimsuit cover-up. So talk about the versatility of the item, you know, because a lot of times we have very few, you know, we've got limited resources to buy something and we want to know that we're going to buy something and use it. And if a person can use it multiple ways, that's great to pull it out in the description and talk about how they could also, you know, wear it or style it. You know, I had some people say it's an earring. How do I describe it's an earring? Well, it's long, it's dangle, it's drop, it's chunky, it's metallic, it's a stud, it's pierced. You know, it's amazing how many listings I go into for earrings and they don't say pierced. Or it's a sandal. Today, kitten heels were a trend room. And do those listings also say it's a shoe? It's a handbag, it's a clutch, but it's also a purse. The algorithm is ageless. You never know the age of the person that's looking for something to buy or their geographical area. You know, maybe some areas will call it a certain word and other ones wouldn't, but you kind of take it all into consideration when you're writing your description, because you want your items to be found as many times as relevant. You don't want to misrepresent your item, but you do want it to be found. And that's how you get the sales. And that's how, if you're doing promoted closets, that's how you get the impressions. It has to have something to latch on to be able to get that listing out there in front of people that want to buy it. So think of all of those things when you're writing your title, when you're elaborating on your description. If you are making something, I put handcrafted, 2 words, capitalized letter in my title. Down in my description, I'm going to spell it as handcrafted as the brand, because Posh has said that if you repeat the brand in your description, that increases the chance of a sale by 25%. So I'm going to say handcrafted as the brand, 2 words. I'm going to say handcrafted, 1 word. I'm going to say handmade. I've been going back lately and adding artisan on some of the items that I make, because that's also a brand on Poshmark. When I do my description, I kind of make, it's kind of a cross between a bullet point and a paragraph. I will say something, you know, I will say this J. Crew dress is essential for anyone that loves animal print. Hit the return key. It has a round scoop neckline. Hit the return key. Short sleeves. Hit the return key. Pullover style, hit the return key. I'll do like 4 or 5 statements, and then I'll hit the return key twice. So I'm kind of doing bullet points and spreading it out. If it's a dress, I'm going to say it's a short, above the knee, mini length. Could be a midi on some, depending on your height. So I'm hitting all of those keywords, and I'm not misrepresenting the item. It's short, it's above the knee, it's a mini, but if you're a petite person, it could be a midi. If it's a top that ties, I'll say it's a round neckline that ties closed and creates a V-neck cutout opening. Or it has a button closure at the back that has a keyhole opening. You know, I'm just going into all of the details. It's a ruffle. If the flower print is along the bottom of the dress, maybe, I'm going to say the flower print creates a pattern, and it's a stripe. Or, you know, creates a stripe detail. I always try to say print, pattern, detail, statement, essential. Those words I always try to say in my description somehow, partly because they're also words that frequently are used in the trend rooms. But I want people to think about the fact they're making a fashion statement. This is essential for them to buy. It's essential to use, to wear to work at the office, to give as a gift. I'm talking up why they should buy it, because I want to kind of prey on the impulse buyers in a way, or to get people thinking about, hey, I'm going on vacation next month and I need to get some more clothes to wear there. Or I've got a bridal shower coming up and I need to give them a gift, or a baby shower. Maybe I've crocheted a beautiful baby blanket. I want to say that it's crocheted, it's handmade, it's handcrafted, blah, blah, blah. It's pastel, it's feminine, it's masculine. But I want to say this would make a great baby shower gift. It's going to be an heirloom collectible item. So I'm kind of playing on some of the style tags that maybe I did not choose to put in the style tag box. Like if it's got a boho vibe to the item, I'm using the word bohemian, but in my description, I'm saying it has a boho hippie retro vibe, because hippie and retro are also style tags. So I'm pulling those into my description. So I'm elaborating on my description. You've got 1,500 characters. If you go to my closet, you'll see I use up a lot of the 1,500 characters. If you want to copy and paste anything from my description into your description, you can plagiarize my listing. That's fine. I took creative writing classes in college. I never thought I'd be using them to write descriptions, but hey, it's working. So find a system that works for you and think about, you're telling the buyer what they're buying, but you're telling the search rhythm and the algorithm as to find your listing as many times as relevant. I always put my closet name at the bottom of my description. A little greeting, let me know if you have any questions. I always include the measurements and the fabric content. Those things are super important. If you look at my descriptions, a lot of people say, as a buyer, I would not read it, all of it. That's fine. It doesn't hurt my pride at all. But I do expect the algorithm to read my descriptions. So think about that a little bit as you are putting words in there. You don't want to misrepresent. You don't want to say something that it's not, but you do want to find the words. And all closets are a work in progress. All listings are a work in progress. They had a trend room, or they talked about belts being really popular. So I started buying belts and started listing them. And I thought I did a really good job with my description. I'd searched out my bubble words. I'd thought about them. I'd looked at them. I described them. They were thin. They were narrow. I had my description. And then lo and behold, they had a trend room for skinny belts. But I'd never once said skinny. So I find it fun and challenging to keep figuring out how to rewrite my listings to get them to sell. So I hope you find titles and descriptions fun. If you're multilingual and maybe Spanish is your second language, write part of your description in Spanish. You know, do it to your advantage and find a system that works for you. And that's what I think helps me the most in getting all of the sales that I get, is people find the listings, they know what they're buying, and they believe that I'm going to ship it well, fast, and I believe I've built up my brand in how I represent everything. So hopefully that helps you with titles and descriptions. If you've not gone back or watched the first sessions on trend rooms and bubble words and style tags, go back and do that, because that all plays into titles and descriptions. That all plays into whether or not you want to do promoted closets. It all works together. So hopefully these sessions that I'm doing will help you think about your closet a little bit more, and you will have a little bit more information on why to do something or not to do something. Emojis may look cute, but they hurt your listings. Do not put them in your titles. Poshmark will not send that listing to Google for featured ads. It affects your load time on your descriptions, so don't put them in your descriptions. There's just a lot of little tiny things that you might do that you don't really know why you do it, but hopefully I can explain to you why to do it or why not to do it. So let me know if you have any questions, and I will be back on Sunday with another session. Thank you all very much. Have fun writing.